Okay, picture this. A cruising yawl, the Nelly, anchored, just sitting there lazily on the Thames.
Peaceful. Yeah.
You feel all that history, Drake, Franklin, the Empire.
Mm-hmm. The weight of it all.
But right there in London's heart, our narrator Marlow is looking out and he sees, well, something much darker in that calm water.
And that brooding feeling, that's really our starting point for this deep dive.
Mhm.
We're getting into the first part of Joseph Conrad's Heart of Darkness.
Right.
Our goal really is to track Marlow's journey, his moral journey, from what he calls the whited sepulcher of Europe, deep into the Congo.
And we want to look at what the colonial hypocrisy, the sort of decay he sees.
Exactly. The hypocrisy, the different kinds of moral rot he bumps into, and, how all this just sets this terrifying stage for meeting the man himself, Mr. Kurtz.
And Marlow signals right away, doesn't he? This isn't just going to be some ripping yarn about the sea.
Not at all.
He's described leaning against the mast, looking like an idol, sort of ascetic, detached. And he says the meaning isn't in the story itself, but...
Yeah. Outside, enveloping the tale. Yeah. It's a huge warning, isn't it? To us, to you listening. Look beyond the adventure story.
And what's amazing is how quickly he critiques where they are right then. He looks at the Thames, this, revered river, and says...
This also has been one of the dark places of the earth. Boom. Right there.
He connects London now, today, back 1900 years to the Romans invading Britain.
Yeah, picturing these legionaries, commanders, facing the cold, the fog, disease. Just this total wilderness. It's a powerful parallel.
So is he saying ancient violence and modern empire are basically the same thing?
Well, he draws the line, but then he adds this kicker, doesn't he? The thing that maybe redeems conquest.
The idea only, that phrase.
Exactly, an unselfish belief in the idea, something you can bow down before and offer a sacrifice to. That's what gives the scramble some meaning, he suggests.
But is that Roman ideal truly different from the hypocrisy of the modern mission?
Morally, he implies it is, or should be. The modern lot, they use the idea of civilization, progress, light as a kind of flimsy cover for just grabbing stuff, pure economics.
And that's what Marlow finds himself drawn towards, isn't it? Driven by this boyhood thing for maps.
Yeah, he remembers Africa as just this huge blank space on the map, exciting unknown.
But by the time he's actually looking for a job there, it's all filled in with names. And that river, the one like a giant snake.
An immense snake uncoiled, yeah. It's become a place of darkness.
He gets the job through his aunt, this dear, enthusiastic soul who thinks he's off to be an emissary of light. A worker, capital W.
Oh, the irony. And the place he gets the job, this company office in a city that makes him think of a whited sepulcher. Dead inside, painted white outside.
The whole atmosphere is just dripping with doom, isn't it, even before he leaves?
Absolutely. And the office itself, that's the first real taste.
Those two women knitting black wool, like a warm pall, guarding the door to darkness.
Just watching the newcomers, the cheery and foolish with these unconcerned old eyes, it's chilling, like the fates,
And Conrad drops in that Latin phrase.
Mortuae te salutant. Yeah, those who are about to die salute you. Sends a shiver down your spine.
And then the weird scientific stuff, the doctor measuring his head.
Yes, in the interests of science, supposedly. And then casually asking any madness in your family.
I love that bit, because the doctor says the real changes happen inside and tells him to come, keep calm.
It's basically the diagnosis for the whole book, isn't it? It's not the jungle that gets you, primarily. It's the stripping away of your own inner controls, your morality.
Right. And the guy Marlow's replacing, Friesleven, he was supposed to be the gentlest, quietest creature.
Yeah, gentle. And he gets killed brawling over two black hens because he felt his self-respect was on the line.
So much for the noble cause, eh? It's just petty, brutal violence from the get-go.
Exactly. No wonder Marlow says he felt like an imposter leaving. He already suspects the game is rigged.
So he sets off. And that journey down the African coast, it's just one bizarre, pointless scene after another.
Oh, definitely. Like the man of war just shelling the bush.
Yeah.
Firing into this vast continent.
He calls it insanity, a lugubrious drollery. Why focus so much on that? Just bad aiming.
I think Conrad's showing it's not just inefficient. The whole colonial project is inherently irrational. It's fundamentally absurd. It doesn't make sense on its own terms.
Okay, I see. And that madness, that futility, that's what he finds when he gets to the outer station.
Total chaos, yeah.
Huh.
Machinery rusting away, a boiler just sitting there in the mud, bits of railway track flipped over, pointless explosions.
Everything's broken, literally falling apart.
But the real gut punch isn't the broken machines, is it? It's the human cost.
Ah, the chain gang. 6 men, skeletons basically, iron collars, chains, called criminals.
And then, even worse, that grove of death, where the sick and starving are just
Mhm.
left to die.
Like broken tools, allowed to crawl away and rest. It's just horrific. The waste of life is staggering.
Total degradation. Any pretense of work or purpose is just gone there.
And then, bang, contrast, this miracle, the chief accountant.
Yes, Mr. High-starch collar, white cuffs, polished boots, all that decay.
Keeping his books in apple pie order. How?
Well, that's his form of restraint, isn't it? But it's entirely superficial, self-serving. He keeps his distance from the horror, not through morals, but through, well, tidiness.
Keeping his shirt clean and his ledgers straight. That's his achievement.
Pretty much. He's the perfect little cog in the bureaucratic machine, masking this profound emptiness inside, appearances over substance.
And it's this guy, the accountant, who first drops the name that will echo through the whole story.
Mr. Kurtz, yeah. A very remarkable person, he calls him. A first-class agent.
Why? Because he sends in tons of ivory.
As much ivory as all the others put together. So right away, Kurtz is linked to this almost mythical level of extraction, of success within this messed-up system.
So Marlow heads inland to the central station and finds his steamers sunk. Convenient.
Very convenient. Marlow suspects the manager had something to do with it, delaying his trip to Kurtz.
And this manager, he's not impressive, is he? Commonplace.
No, not smart, not skilled. But he makes Marlow uneasy. And his power seems to come from, well, just lasting. He never gets sick.
That's creepy in itself. He just endures.
He's like the perfect embodiment of the environment's nullifying effect. No passion, no great evil, just emptiness. And he advises having no entrails out there, no guts, no feeling.
And the station itself reflects that.
Totally. A taint of imbecile rapacity, Marlow calls it. The men are like faithless pilgrims stuck in a rotten fence.
And what are they praying to?
Ivory. Just that one word. It's like a corrupt mantra hypnotizing them all.
This is where the backstabbing starts too, right? With the brickmaker.
The brickmaker who doesn't make bricks, yes. He sidles up to Marlow, trying to figure out if he's part of this supposed new gang of virtue linked to Kurtz.
Sees Marlow is connected.
Thinks maybe Marlow has influence back in Europe. And he talks up Kurtz using all the company rhetoric, prodigy, emissary of pity and science and progress.
Building the Kurtz myth. But is it real?
Well, the ambiguity just grows. Marlow sees this sketch. Kurtz painted a blindfolded woman carrying a torch. Powerful image, but Marlow feels a sinister vibe to it. So even in Kurtz's art, his idea, there's this hint of darkness lurking.
And then Marlow overhears the manager plotting with his uncle.
Yeah, the uncle who leads the El Dorado exploring expedition. Marlow just calls them sordid buccaneers. Pure greed.
And they're worried about Kurtz.
Oh, they hate him. They hate his high-minded talk, his influence. They openly hope the climate will do away with this difficulty. Just get rid of him.
So they're actively hostile to his ideals.
They mock his whole vision.
Mhm.
You know, each station should be like a beacon, humanizing, improving, instructing. They can't stand it because it implicitly critiques their own simple plundering.
The idealist is more dangerous to them than the wilderness.
Precisely. Because he exposes the lie.
Okay, so Marlow finally gets his steamer fixed and heads upriver towards Kurtz. And the description of that journey, it's intense.
It really is like traveling back to the earliest beginnings of the world. Primeval. Silent.
He talks about the stillness of an implacable force brooding over an inscrutable intention, like the jungle itself is judging them.
It strips everything away, all the European pretensions. And this is where Marlow finds his own kind of salvation.
How? By meditating.
No, by fixing the boat. He focuses obsessively on the leaky pipes, the rivets, the steering, practical stuff.
The surface truth, he calls it.
Exactly. That sheer focus on the work, on the mechanics, it saves him from sinking into the inner truth of the wilderness that swallows others. It's a different kind of restraint.
Yeah.
Functional.
So work keeps him sane, unlike Kurtz, presumably.
That's the contrast being set up, yeah.
And just before they reach Kurtz, they meet him, the Russian.
The harlequin, yes. Patched clothes, bright colors, totally out of place. A fabulous figure, been wandering for years.
And he's completely devoted to Kurtz.
Fanatically. Says Kurtz has enlarged my mind. He swallowed the Kurtz Kool-Aid, hook, line, and sinker. Represents the sheer charismatic power Kurtz must have.
Even dressed like a clown.
Yeah, the contrast is bizarre. But then, things get real. The steamer gets attacked.
Arrows flying from the banks.
But the Russian insists it's not an attack on them, it's a repulse. The natives, he says.
They don't want him to go, meaning Kurtz. They want to keep him.
Which is already deeply weird, right? And in the chaos, the helmsman gets killed by a spear.
And Marlow's reaction, it's not grief, is it? It's disappointment.
It's shocking, yeah. His main feeling is frustration that he might not get to hear Kurtz speak now, after all this.
The man presented himself as a voice. That's all that's left of the European ideal for Marlow at this point, just the eloquence.
But then reality slams home. Hard. Marlow looks through his binoculars at Kurtz's station, at the fence posts.
The ornaments. He thinks they're carved knobs at first.
Until he focuses. And realizes they're human heads, dried heads, on stakes, facing the house.
Ugh, that's the moment, isn't it? The absolute horror revealed.
No more ambiguity. This confirms the manager's dry comment that Kurtz's methods are unsound. Understatement of the century.
Marlow sees it clearly then. Kurtz lacked restraint in the gratification of his various lusts.
The wilderness didn't make him savage. It just allowed the savagery that was maybe already there in the civilized man to come out. No checks, no balances.
So when they finally bring Kurtz out on a stretcher...
He looks awful, pitiful and appalling, like a ghost. But you still get the sense of his power.
The natives adore him, apparently. He came to them with thunder and lightning.
Like a god. But a god who'd also threaten his own disciple, the Russian, over some ivory. The contradictions are total.
And then there's the report, that document he wrote.
Oh, yeah. 17 pages for the International Society for the Suppression of Savage Customs. Full of soaring language about how whites must seem like gods. Their power for good is practically unbounded.
The pure, unselfish idea, right there on paper. Eloquent. Persuasive.
Absolutely magnificent in its way, and then tacked on the end, scrawled later clearly.
A postscript.
Exterminate all the brutes. Just chilling. The absolute collapse, the final terrifying conclusion he reached.
From idealist to advocate for genocide.
He saw where his path led, and he didn't just accept it, he endorsed it. That's the horror.
And then, near death, delirious, he gives his famous last words.
The horror. The horror.
And Marlow sees this not as despair, but as a moral victory. How? Why?
Because, unlike the manager, unlike the accountant living in their moral vacuum, Kurtz saw it. He judged it. He judged himself, the darkness he'd fallen into, the whole rotten enterprise.
He had something to say.
Exactly. That final flicker of self-awareness, of judgment, that's the victory. It's a terrible truth, but he faced it. That makes him human in the end.
So Marlow takes this terrible knowledge back to the sepulchral city, and he has one last darkness to navigate.
The lie. He goes to see Kurtz's fiancée, his intended.
And she lives in this pure, beautiful bubble of illusion about Kurtz. Remembers him as noble, generous.
Completely unaware of the reality. And Marlow, he can't bring himself to shatter that.
He tells her Kurtz's last word was her name, not the horror.
Yeah. He protects her saving illusion. Maybe he thinks society needs those illusions, that belief in the idea, to even function, even if it's partly built on lies. It's a complicated act of loyalty.
So, wrapping this part up, what are the big takeaways?
Well, first, that contrast between Marlow finding salvation in surface work the rivets and Kurtz being consumed by a lack of inner restraint. Work versus the void, maybe.
Okay, and the whole civilizing mission.
Completely exposed, isn't it?
Yeah.
As just robbery with violence, barely hidden by bureaucracy and fancy words about the idea.
And Kurtz himself, defined by that amazing voice, but ultimately by total moral collapse when left alone in the wilderness.
Yeah, his potential was huge, but so was his capacity for darkness.
And Marlow's final image back on the yawl looking at the Thames.
It brings us full circle, doesn't it? The river flowing out, somber under an overcast sky, seemed to lead into the heart of an immense darkness.
Suggesting the darkness isn't just out there in the jungle. It's here. It's everywhere. It's maybe even within us.
Always a possibility.
Marlow suggested the only thing that redeems our own scrambles for power or resources is that unselfish belief in the idea. So a final thought for you listening. Where do you see the darkness playing out today? And what's the idea, if any, that redeems it?